Hey, it's Rob with WiiUDaily.com, and I'm here with a first look at the Nintendo TV. This is a service that just launched in the United States on December 20th, and it will be rolling out to other parts of the world in the coming weeks and months. Nintendo TV essentially turns your Wii U gamepad into a universal remote that kind of imitates the experience you'd get on a typical tablet like in a Nexus 7 or an iPad. While you're watching television, you can also use the gamepad as a secondary screen to get more information about what you're watching or communicate with your friends. I'm going to show you real quick how easy it was to set up Nintendo TV. After punching in your zip code, you just select from the list of providers in that area who you have. So I have Comcast, and then there's two packages. It's kind of weird because you've actually got to press on the package to see what it offers you and how many channels it has. Package 2 with 649 channels, Package 1 has 138 channels, but it's weird because there's so many packages you could have in between, and that ends up having an effect on the capability of Nintendo TV as you're using it. We'll get into that in a little bit. Now that you're connected, you're going to go through a little startup process where you kind of fill out your personal profile and it sets up your account with some defaults. So first option is to go through and select some favorite TV shows. Next, it's going to ask you if you'd like to select some favorite movies, and actually at the end of this list you can search for other movies if there are specific ones that you want to fill your profile with. Now, being a big sports junkie, I was pretty excited to see the next selection of favorite teams. So you go through and you select your favorite teams from the NFL, NCAA football and basketball, and the NBA. Major League Baseball wasn't on here. NHL wasn't on here. These are, of course, working off licensing agreements, so Nintendo could always add future partners, but for now, you've got these four options. So I went ahead and selected the Baltimore Ravens, my Syracuse Orange, and I'm not a big NBA fan, so I left that blank. Then we've got a favorite channel selection, and this is actually going to show up on the remote as quick buttons for jumping to these specific channels, so make sure you choose wisely. Of course, you can always change them, but the icons will show up right smack dab on the front of the remote. So I'm going to go ahead and pick some of my faves. Lastly, you connect your social networks. Miiverse is selected by default, then you've got Facebook and Twitter, and you're done. You can go back and edit any of these settings by clicking on your Mii in the upper left, and you jump into settings, and there's some other options too, like parental controls and switching up your TV provider, so don't worry if you make a mistake the first go around. If you press the hardware button in the lower right hand corner of the gamepad that says TV, you'll get this down and dirty TV remote where you can quickly change channels and volume and input and enter the guide and put numbers in. But that's the least exciting of the two controllers. In the lower right hand corner of the touchscreen, you'll see a little remote icon that reveals this rotary style kind of remote display. And if you take a closer look at it, you can see there's all the different networks that I had selected as my favorite, as well as, directional pads, DVR stuff. I can directly enter numbers, and really pretty cool. Unfortunately, if you try and access any of the DVR features, pausing, recording, they don't work yet. And it says DVR stuff coming soon, and it can't come soon enough because there's so much cool stuff in Nintendo TV that you can see when your upcoming teams are playing and your favorite shows are coming up in an hour or two. You want to be able to record them. You want to be able to pause your TV and do something else, and right now you can't. So that's pretty irritating that the DVR doesn't work, but everything else does. You can see the number dial, and you can swipe around to different numbers and different TV channels. So the DVR stuff's disappointing, but hopefully Nintendo will jump on that and get something in place soon. One pretty irritating thing is if you enter the guide for your service provider using the remote, there's no way to exit it. Either you're going to watch something from there, or that's it, because there's no back button or way to exit the guide. You can get in, but you can't get out. So actually use the guide that's on the Wii U gamepad. It just makes it easier, but just be warned, there's no way to get out of the guide once you get in there. Speaking of the guide, that's kind of the core functionality here. You've got favorites, TV, movies, sports, and search, and it really offers a nice tablet interface for browsing TV and incorporating stuff that you enjoy watching. So right now we're looking at our favorites. We can look at our favorites queue and see what's playing now. We can look through TVs, movies, sports, and channels, and each one of these options has sub-options. In this case, I want to watch Moneyball, so I can either buy it and rent it from Amazon or select from one of the two stations there. And this is where it's kind of a bummer DVR doesn't work. You know, the movie's playing tonight at 8 o'clock, so I can jump to that station. But yeah, it's about to show in an hour, and I can't DVR it if I'm about to eat dinner or something else. So it makes some of the other core functionality of TV not as nice and kind of broken. Not to mention, Moneyball was playing on a station that I didn't get, and because I could only choose from package 1 with 138 channels or package 2 with over 600, it misunderstood what channels I actually had, and Nintendo ends up often suggesting a lot of movies and TV shows and programs which you're not even able to watch, and that can be frustrating. Nintendo should allow you to selectively remove channels from your list so that they don't show up in your system. And here you can see I'm going through TVs, you can see your favorite movies, you can see favorite sports, which I'd use a lot because you can jump into a favorite team and see what their schedule and scores are. I really liked that. And then favorite channels is just big logos of your favorite channels. This is really better access through the main remote. Jumping into TV, this is basically a TV guide of sorts. You see featured, you can see what's live, there's recommended. Featured and recommended to me seem to overlap each other, but it's just a nice display of, you know, what's on now and coming up soon and what you should be paying attention to. You can check out the show cast and look at more info on the show. Here I can watch the show through Hulu Plus, Amazon, or tune in on the 20th at 8 p.m. Of course, I can't DVR it here, but whatever, hopefully that will be soon. The live TV kind of irked me because it gave me suggestions for things that weren't actually on. Colbert Report was starting in, 10, 15 minutes or whatever, but it wasn't on yet. So I want to see something I can actually watch now. You can see if I tune to it, that's not Colbert Report, that's Tosh.0. And so to me, there should be, things that are on now and things that are going to be coming up next. Taking a look through the recommended TV shows, I saw one of my favorite shows of all time, Suits. So I wanted to add that to my favorites. Something cool about Nintendo TV is each person in your family can have their own, obviously me, who has their own favorites. So when you go into your profile, you see your own favorites, and there's a family setting where you can see, what might be favorite for everybody watching at once. Here's the grid. The grid is what you would typically call your guide on your cable your own, cable box. So when you look at movies, pretty much the exact same thing, except here the frustration level with the channels you don't have goes up another notch because all those premium channels of the 650 that are, showing the movies here, you can't access them, but it's still showing that you have access to them. So the movie section's good, but kind of frustrating. On to sports, which is hands down my favorite integration with Nintendo TV because you get this scoreboard operation for your television. So you can look at NFL, NCAA basketball or football, or NBA schedules and scores and immediately jump to that game on TV. So here we're going to look at a college basketball game. We jump right to it, and you can see on our gamepad, well, let's watch the play real quick. Top of the key, passes inside. Boom! Buckets! So you can see it should update on the gamepad with the score. Unfortunately, there's about a 30-second delay, which is a little bit irritating. So, but this is kind of it's a cool view here. It's pretty much like ESPN Gamecast. So on the right, you've got the update of every single play in chronological order. Then you get the score by quarter, how much time's left. You can see where the plays took place on the court. And you can do a bunch of other stuff too. But let's take a look and see how long it actually takes for this to update. Now I was looking for a refresh button or a way to update the score, thinking maybe scrolling up, and up, there you go. It just updated with the new play. So you can see that took about 30 seconds. Now it says 97. We're a little behind. So for live, it's not perfect, but it's good. Say you're watching a commercial though. Now you have all these great options to keep yourself entertained. You can jump into a specific play and comment on that play in a Miiverse kind of way. So I decided to just test it out and dropped in a little comment. And when a bunch of people comment, it's pretty cool because on like a really big play, you'll see there's like 20 comments or something, and just go through and read what other people think. You can also add an emoticon to a play, which you can see how many people added one, but you can't really dive any further than that and even see what other people are doing. So then there's stats. You can look at team comparison, look at a specific team and see all the players and what their stats are. You can also go to a scoreboard and see, what the other scores in the league are right now. Unfortunately, you can't actually jump into another game's stats or watch another live game through this scoreboard. If they were able to do that, it'd be even cooler because you could jump from game to game much easier. Now, the delay thing kind of bothered me, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to test out just going to ESPN on the Nintendo Wii U gamepad and seeing if I can, on the Gamecast, get a better experience. And if you could, that'd be a bummer. So, looked at the score. Here it's 11-13 and kind of timed out how much quicker ESPN could update the score. So there was a foul shot, and all said and done, it was almost the identical amount of time. So you're going to notice a delay with the sports on TV, on Nintendo TV, but it's no different than ESPN or anything else. So before those rumors and criticisms start flying out there, keep in mind that Nintendo TV is doing it just as good as ESPN, which is pretty much hands down the sports leader. And that rounds out our written review of Nintendo TV on the Nintendo Wii U. For our full written review, visit WiiUDaily.com, where we'll have more in-depth analysis, opinions, and ratings on Nintendo TV. And to discuss with thousands of others, visit the #1 Wii U forums at WiiUforums.com. Thanks for watching. Happy holidays.